Mike Sills, National Football Show. We're going to get Garry Cobb up here real quick here, but I got to tell you, man, Cowboys kicked the shit out of the New York Giants, man. You would think that they beat the 85 Bears. Holy cow. Danny DeVito's little nephew was playing quarterback in New York, and I couldn't watch the game. I had agita, and in Italian, for some of you out there, that means an upset stomach. I had to watch Lions and Chargers and actually watch a football game instead of an ass kicking. It was like watching Cobb's old USC team beat the Oregon State Beavers. I mean, Cobb was out of the game. He had his shoulder pads off in the second quarter, and they were up 49-0. Okay? When he played Oregon State or Cal back in them days, Garry played 14 plays. Hey, everybody was in their street gear by the time the second quarter was there. I mean, it was like watching that. It was like JV. But the Cowboys are back now. Now, I will make this comment, and I'm going to bring Garry on after this comment here. When healthy, I think the 49ers are the best team in the NFL. Garry Cobb, Fox 29, former Eagle himself. Man, I know you were off the field, man, in the second quarter against the Beaver, man.
Yeah,
I know you were.
Yeah, guys over there chewing bubble gum, you know. Yeah, that was a different time, but yeah, there was, those teams, they didn't want any part of us. But
I'll say. Am I wrong when I say this, Garry?
Yeah.
That when healthy, the 49ers are the best team in football.
Well, they may be right. They may be there right now. Right now they may be playing at that level. They look tough, and you know what? I know they've been talking about the Eagles, within their locker room, since last year. I know that they, that, they want another shot at them. So that's what it's all about, though. I mean, that's what it's supposed about. They got to get on the field. And we're going to see who's better that day, because right now they are playing, man. They look tough, boy. Woo!
Well, here, you know what Eagle guy will do? They'll turn around and go like this to you. They lost 3 straight. I'm like, how do you think the Philadelphia Eagles, and take a look at the record when Lane's not in the starting lineup?
Yeah.
If they have A.J. Brown and they don't have Trent Williams on there, you think that football team's 8-1? There's not a chance in hell the Eagles are 8-1 without those two guys on the field.
You're right. That's why right now, I mean, I'll tell you, Dallas didn't play anybody, but I tell you what, they want another shot at the Eagles. They want another shot at them, man. They know the guys left that field know that, hey, we're gonna have to play these guys again. So. But that's the fun. That's what the fun of this whole thing is, man.
It is.
You
think the Cowboys beat the Eagles in Arlington?
If they don't play better than they did the last time, because the Cowboys are playing that. I mean, that's the way you're supposed to do the Giants. They send that awful team out there. That's the way you're supposed to do them. Now, I didn't think they should have kept it on. They're throwing the ball at the end of the game. Like, man, it's
they're running the score up like they were playing UNLV.
I know. I mean, I thought that was ridiculous, but hey, you're supposed to. That's the kind of whooping you're supposed to get due to an inferior team, and you tell them, look, if you can't handle it, don't show up. Just go ahead and forfeit or something, because you guys are awful. But I didn't like the way they were running up the score. I mean,
wait a minute, forfeit?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You know what? The Giants are getting about that bad. That looked bad, man. That was not an NFL. I mean,
it was embarrassing.
You're going like, man, you guys, are you guys going to keep on playing this game? that was, but the Cowboys, that does say something about them, though. When they get in that role, man, they get out there and they get on a roll on you, boy.
How about this here?
Dak is playing, man. Dak is playing.
That's where I'm going here.
Yeah.
That, he's playing just as good a football right now as Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's on track for 45-62. Jalen's on track for 44-33.
Mm-hmm.
Dak's on pace for 32 touchdowns, 17 picks.
Yeah.
Jalen's 28 touchdowns, 15 picks. Dak's got a 70.17 completion percentage. Jalen's at 68.9. You can say that Hurts is playing better than him because he's not.
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing good ball too, right?
That's right. Well, you know what? This is what it's all about. I remember, our coaches at USC, they used to say that. We don't like playing beating up on these little teams. We like big man on big man. We like the big games, and that's what it's about. And so you're looking to see Dallas, San Francisco, and the Eagles. We're going to find out who's got the better football team.
Wait a minute, Gary.
Yeah.
Are you going to throw your Lions in there too?
I tell you, the Lions, I still don't think that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
In certain ways they are, but I went back there. I was back there. I was looking at them play the Las Vegas Raiders, and I'm going like, no, you guys are not on the, you're not on the level of the Niners, the Eagles, Cowboys. No, I wouldn't put them up there yet. They're on their way, though. They are going in the right direction, but, they still got some ways to do. But I do like they got some big boys up front, on that offensive line. I like some of those guys. Of course, they got some pass rushers, but I don't see the type of pass rush that the Eagles or the Niners or the Cowboys, no, they don't have that type of pass rush. They don't have that many guys coming at you like that. So
how about this one, Gary?
Yeah.
We have been injured all year, and we keep winning against one of the hardest schedules. Yet we haven't really got into the hardest part of the schedule. The next 5 games, in my opinion, are going to tell us a lot more here, Warrior. But I will say this to you. I mean, at the end of the day, though, Gary, I mean, you got to look at the way that they're playing. Then you look at San Francisco and how they're playing. Chase Young was a factor in that game. And how about this? Who do you think has more impressive wins? The Niners have beat up the Cowboys by 30.
Yeah.
They beat the Jags by 30.
Yes.
And they beat the Steelers by 22. Boy, you got to look at them and look at the Niners and go like this. The Eagles have been in every game that they've had this year. The 49ers, when they got all their pieces in there, they beat people up.
Yeah, they do. Now, I will give you that. I will say that the Eagles, the argument they can make is that they find ways to win.
Yes.
Now, and so if they get in the game with the Niners or the Cowboys, and they find ways to win, they can win in multiple ways. But they got their work cut out for them. I think they know that. I think they were looking at they were looking at those games yesterday. They were looking. Without a doubt. And so you see the Niners, man, you see with Debo back in there,
Trent Williams.
Big Williams back in there, you're going like, ooh. And then you add to that pass rush they had, you're going like, man.
Chase Young and Randy Gregory. He hasn't been a factor, but Chase Young.
Yep.
And I think Chase Young playing with Nick Bosa at Ohio State,
I'm telling you,
kind of looked a little bit like what Jalen Carter and Jordan Day was playing at Georgia together. That looked a little bit like that OSU combo.
Well, this is fun, man. I enjoy it.
Hargrave's playing great.
Yeah, you're going to see some great games. We're going to find out because nobody can say, oh, I'm sure such and such is going to win. No. Nobody's sure of nothing because these are going to be some tight, hard-fought games where it's going to be a play here, a play there. Who knows? Maybe one team bullies the other team. I want to see, if somebody can pull that off because you got some outstanding defensive and offensive lines where we're going to find out who is for real. And you got to take care of the football. We're going to see, Debo, A.J. Brown. See who takes over the game.
Kittle was a factor this past weekend against the Jags.
Yeah, he was.
Remember something about that Jags team? That Jags team had won 5 in a row, and they put the hammer on them, man.
They did. That was a thrashing, and they didn't belong on the field. I got to give it to them. I mean, San Francisco, when they are healthy, they got everybody back, boy. Well, we knew they were tough last year.
Yeah.
Nobody was celebrating last year before that game. Now afterwards, everybody, I knew they were going to win. You didn't know they were. You didn't know they were going. So
Gary, on Sunday or Monday night, excuse me, Andy Reid is 27-4 coming out of buys, and Sirianni's 3-1. The Super Bowl bye week, obviously, you count that in the factor that they lost to the Super Bowl. He's 3-1 coming out of a bye. Plus, you have Steve Spagnuolo on the other side. You got Andy Reid, and you have Patrick Mahomes. Advantage who?
I think you got to give the advantage to Kansas City. I mean, because
Plus their
defensively, they've been playing. I mean, you look at the numbers. Their defense is the reason that they having the year they're having, because their offense hasn't been playing great, but they've been finding ways to win because they're holding teams under 16 points. I mean, they are playing outstanding, and I haven't really looked at them closely, but I know Steve. He's a great coach. I mean, the guy's an outstanding coach, very good. He gets to his players. He gets production out of his players because he's a stand-up guy. In fact, I ran into him. He was back here after they won during the offseason. And so I was joking with him and stuff. Him and his wife, they were, they of course they come back here all the time because they got a lot of friends in the area. So they were back here, and I told them, hey man, you got nothing. I got nothing to say. I got nothing to say. I got to give you guys credit, man. You guys got it done. And with the way his defense, I got to look at him closely and see why they're playing.
They're top 9 unit.
Yeah. I mean, I really haven't looked at the, at what they're doing, but my goodness, you holding people under 16 points in this type of league where it's scoring, he's obviously doing an outstanding job. But the Eagles got their work cut out for them, and I think they're looking forward to it. We're gonna find out, who's for real.
You know what I love about your fan base is that any little thing pisses them off. And and Gary, and something like this has to piss them off because Monday they're raising the Super Bowl flag at Arrowhead.
Oh, they waited and made sure, huh?
Yeah, they're raising the Super Bowl flag on Monday night.
Oh, oh man. Oh, why did you have to say that? Oh no. Some of these people gonna have a baby about that, man. But you know what? Hey, you win it. You can do it when you want to, and Andy's great preparer.
Yeah,
I mean, he does prepare. He'll study. He goes in there and he's going to study what you're doing. So, and we know that the secondary. Look, if you guys don't play better than that, I mean, you cannot. I don't know how you could look your teammates in the eye and don't play better than they played. So, but they know it. They got to play much better. And if they don't, it's going to get ugly.
How much of a force and factor do you think Travis Swift is going to be a tight end for the 49ers in that game? I mean, you got to think Travis Swift, man. He's going to eat that thing up big time.
Hey, you know what they used
Here
to
I
say?
that.
That's right. Hey, you know what they would always say? A guy doesn't have his legs.
We'll know immediately if he's a little seasick.
That's right. That's right. I got to give it to him, boy. They're milking that, boy. That's a nice promotion, man.
Would you have a problem with a guy going to like the North Atlantic or Rio or wherever the hell he went to chase down some girlfriend of his and knowing you got a Monday night game? Or Gary, do you just go with it and that's how Andy's always been?
Andy's just going to roll with it. Andy will be able to. He knows the kind of guy he is, and as long as he's ready to play, he's been putting up with his act, because he's always had an act, Kelsey.
Yeah, no, he dresses like he's RuPaul.
Oh, that's right.
I mean,
Mr. Cool. He's Mr. Cool all the time.
No, he dresses like RuPaul, man.
Yeah, yeah. Now that's true. Hey. See, now I'm gonna leave that alone because I'm friends with his brother, and everything. And so I'm going. Hey, he does dress. He dresses differently. I noticed he does at times. He does dress differently.
He dresses a little sharp.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I gotta admit, they are milking this, man. I tell you.
Who are you more concerned about, Gary, in the secondary, Bradbury or Slay?
Bradbury, because I don't know if he has the speed to be out there anymore. He looks like and then just not sharp. I mean, that last play, when he got the pass interference play there near the end. Come on, you got to be smarter than that. Come on, you're a veteran player. Why are you even in that situation? Back off of the guy. Come on. They got 40 seconds to go. and you're gonna make it this kind of drama like that. So, he's got to play. He's got to play better. He knows that, but I don't know how much he has left when you see people going by him, and
Dude, they're calling him Burnberry.
Hey, I could understand that. He was in the locker room afterwards, and like I said, I'm not gonna say anything to him.
Hey, what unit do you think has played the best in the first half of the season? The O-line or the D-line?
Well, I guess probably maybe the D-line.
D-line's number one against the run.
Yeah, I think
sixth in sacks.
Yeah, I think the D-line, because they've been getting pressure, most of the time. There have been some times when they've been missing a little bit, but for the most part, they've been getting pressure. But the secondary at times doesn't even show up. You're going like, what are you doing 10 yards off the guy? I mean, get up on that receiver, man. What are you doing? You just, 1, 2, 3, the ball's out. You got to cover somebody sometime. And I want to see them changing some things up. I think they have a chance to change things up. They got Roby coming up. He'll be in there in the slot. You're going to have these guys healthy. And I know from some of the guys that have played in the league, they know that they got to play on a higher level than that. And if they're going to be circled as the reason the Eagles don't make it. And I don't think they want that. So I definitely think we're going to get better performances out of that secondary, because I'm going like, man, come on, the Cowboys stopped themselves. There's
Garry,
no way.
They're the second worst pass defense in the league.
And then that's not.
And they've given up the most first downs.
And they have played that poorly. There have been times when you just say, this is not pro football, man. How could you be out there? Aren't you ashamed to be out there playing when you got tape where you're looking this bad? Especially with a team that has aspirations of winning this whole thing, and you're playing that poorly. I don't know. I wouldn't be getting a lot of sleep at night if I was playing that bad, man.
How about this? 2 last questions for you here. As we go into this week and we go into this game here, and you look at the way that they've played, in your opinion, is the health of Jalen Hurts, if he can't bring back the physical element in the run game? I do not believe Swift is a physical runner. Okay, I tell you what, I saw that guy Gibbs in Detroit, and I see why they moved off of DeAndre Swift, because that kid, in my opinion, he's a ball player.
Yeah, he is.
But Jalen, do you agree? He's got to get back to being healthy to bring back the physicality in the run game, because they really don't have a physical running back there.
They're going to have to do something. I mean, they did have Rashad Penny ran 2 times. The first time when he hit the ball, he hit it up in there for 8 yards. And you can see maybe he can be that guy, because he is big enough and physical enough to be that guy. But the guy don't want to play the rest of the game. Look, you got to block sometime. Come on, man. Sometimes you got to pick up the blitz. But I could see, and, there's been talk that maybe he is going to become really take on a bigger role, because, as much as I like Swift, he's back where you give him 5-10 times a game. You might let him carry the ball, and then you're getting the ball to him out in space. You
think he's slowing down a little?
Who's that, Swift?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's never carried the ball this much. He's never carried the ball this much. I mean, you're not going to give it the ball to him.
Do you think he's wearing down, or do you think they're concerned about wearing him down, or both?
I think it's both, and I think that he's a kind of a back. He's not a guy that's going to be running over people. And when he starts kind of shying to a hit from a DB, that, come on, he can't. He's not a pounder. That's not the kind of ball carrier.
No, and most of the yards were in 2 games.
Yeah, and
early on too.
And you know what? That's fine. You just let him play in the role that he should be playing, which is carries the ball 5 to 10 times, mostly in a game. But then you're getting the ball to him out in space with screens and where he's running routes and everything. That's him at his strength, because when he's out in some space, he can make people miss. But
but Garry,
he's
even
not
in
a
Detroit,
pounder, though. He's not
even
a pounder.
in Detroit and in Philly, when they're in the red zone, they pull him out of games.
Yeah, he's not a pounder. Come on, it's not him. He's not him. That's not the kind of back he is. And you need to let a guy play the role he should play. Now, they brought Penny in here, and I've heard some people say that they're going to start using him. I said, well, put him in there and let's see what he's got, because they need a physical back. Because, you know, you look at these guys that they got to play, like when they're playing the Niners, they need a physical back to play against the Niners. You look at the other teams, when they play the Cowboys again, they need a physical back to go in there and pound the ball. That's your best chance against them, because, you know, they want to run. They want you to throw the ball. They're flying off that corner and stuff. And the way that you make them play the game you want them to play, which is you run the ball right at them and you got to pound her. And you go on like, we got bad news for you guys. We're running the ball, you know.
Final question for you, Gary.
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert, on a scale of 1 to 10, his absence in the next 4 weeks will be what?
It's going to be.
And these are the big games too. These next 5.
I think they're going to be all right, because they got enough weapons, and you know, the guy behind him, you know, he can block.
Does it hurt him more in the run game than the pass game?
I think it's more in the pass game. I think because you know the second team tight end, he can block. You know, so he'll be all right with the run. But they don't have that weapon in the even though this guy with this long name, I don't even know what the big kid, they're going to try to work him in, but they're going to miss him probably more in the pass game. But they got a lot of pass. They got you know, you got AJ Brown, you got Devontae Smith, and I think they'll be all right. They better be.
It's never good when we're talking about a Paisan. We can't name his name. Yeah, you know that kid, Katani, whatever that guy is.
Is he Paisan? No,
is he a Greek? I don't know. Could be. I think he's Greek. Guys.
I think he's. I don't know what he is.
I tell you this.
He's got a name.
I know this. He ain't got it.
That's right. He ain't got it.
he ain't Dallas Goedert.
That's right.
Gary, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it. Should be an interesting Monday. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
You got it. Gary Cobb from Fox 29 in Philadelphia. We appreciate him coming aboard. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Football and Hooters, the perfect pair.